Open Book Earth Rises. Chapter 1. The Conclave decides, they are not worthy. The chamber of final decrees hung suspended in the void between galaxies, a cathedral of obsidian and quantum crystal, humming with the cold logic of extinction. 5 beings sat at its obsidian table, each the apex of their species, each convinced they were the universe's final answer. At its head, Zorax. He was not merely reptilian, he was evolution's final joke. A nightmare stitched from gecko and shark, slick, scaled hide that drank light, jaws lined with serrated, self-sharpening teeth, eyes that saw heat, motion, and fear. His race, the Zorinals, had evolved on Zorin Prime, a world of razor winds, acid jungles, and blood oceans. Only the fastest, cruelest, and most cunning survived. He had eaten his own siblings in the creche. He had devoured rival warlords to absorb their strength. He did not blink. He did not flinch. He did not feel. The newly discovered world, the locals call it Earth, has been fully investigated, Zorax rumbled, voice like stone dragged over bone. I called Dr. Soren of the Crystalline Collective to give his report. Dr. Soren glided forward on his levitation disc, crystalline limbs refracting the chamber's dim glow. His body was a lattice of living quartz, pulsing with internal light. The Crystalline Collective felt no emotion, only logic. Their speech was monotone, their thoughts pure calculation. Soren had spent 17 cycles studying Earth, its wars, its art, its children's laughter, its nuclear arsenals. Honored leaders, Soren intoned, voice devoid of inflection. My findings indicate that the humans are too violent and aggressive to make good slaves. Their history is full of wars, tribal, ideological, economic, religious. They have never known peace, only pauses between conflicts. They are also highly adaptable, a dangerous trait. They learn from defeat. They remember pain. They weaponize grief. All evidence suggests that a subjugated Earth would cost the Conclave far more in suppressing rebellions than in exterminating the humans. Recommendation, Protocol Sigma U9. Sterilize the biosphere. Preserve the planet for terraforming. Cost-benefit analysis favors annihilation. A pause. Cold. Heavy. Zorax turned his unblinking gaze to the other 4. Having heard this report, I put forward the Exterminate and Contain Protocol. Renz, speaker for the Crystalline Collective, pulsed in agreement, his body shimmering with approval. Efficiency demands it. Extren, matriarch of the Arachnid Dominion, 8 limbs folded neatly, mandibles clicking, gave a slow nod. Let the pests burn. Their screams will be brief. Twanta, grey-skinned oligarch of the Metron hegemony, sighed. Another primitive species. How tedious. Can we move on? I have tax reforms to review. Creds, the lights, a being of pure plasma contained within a gravitic shell, flared briefly. Consensus reached. Proceed. Zorax raised a clawed hand. Motion carried. Activate Protocol Sigma U9. Fleet Command, deploy the Cleansing Armada. Sterilize Sol 3. Leave no biomass above microbial level. He turned to his aide, a trembling Metron scribe. Schedule lunch. I crave the neural marrow of the Zenthar ambassador. Serve it warm. I want to hear him beg. And with that, less ceremony than ordering a beverage, they signed the death warrant of 8 billion souls. As the others rose to leave, Zorax lingered. He stared at the hologram of Earth, blue, green, fragile. Such noise, he murmured. Such chaos. Such waste. He did not understand why it unsettled him. He did not yet know, he was afraid. Chapter 2, Earth, blissfully ignorant. On Earth, it was Tuesday. In Tokyo, salarymen drank vending machine coffee and complained about the rain. One man, Kenji Soto, checked his watch, late again. His boss would skin him. He didn't see the sky turning violet. In Lagos, street vendors argued over football scores while frying plantains. Amina Okoye laughed as she handed a child a free puff-puff. You grow big, eh? The child grinned. The sky bled crimson. In Rio, lovers kissed on the beach at sunset. Matteo whispered in Isabella's ear, best day ever. She laughed. The waves crashed. The horizon flickered, like a screen glitching. In Washington, President Ronald Trump was mid-tweet about fake news meteorologists when his chief of staff, General Briggs, burst into the Oval Office, face ashen. Sir, NASA's Deep Space Array. We're detecting 10,000 objects. Velocity, 0.3 c. Trajectory, Sol system. ETA are 48 hours. Grump didn't look up from his phone. Aliens? Like little green men? Or those tall grey ones with the big eyes? Neither, sir. Readings suggest warships. Massive. No emissions. No hails. Just coming. Grump blinked. Shrugged. Well, guess it's bunker time. Get me Air Force One. And my golf clubs. He didn't ask about evacuation plans. He didn't ask about the public. He asked if the bunker had Wi-Fi. Chapter 3, Panic, the Elite Scramble. The Emergency Global Summit was a farce. Held via hologram, most leaders refused to leave their bunkers. The summit lasted 17 minutes. Kid Harmer, Prime Minister of Britain, vomited into a wastebasket, then fainted. His aide whispered, he pissed himself, sir. The feed cut. Chancellor Li Wei of China immediately activated the Great Bunker Project, mobilizing bullet trains, cargo planes, and underground silos beneath the Himalayas. Priority list: scientists, generals, billionaires, party elites. Children? Only if their parents were essential. President Du Bois of the African Union began broadcasting evacuation orders, ignored by half her own ministers, who were already boarding private jets to Switzerland. Only Dr. Elena Petrova, Russian astrophysicist and secret head of the Doomsday Science Council, understood the truth. They're not coming to talk. They're coming to erase us. This is extermination. Not invasion. She tried to warn the public. Her broadcast was cut. Her lab was sealed. But she wasn't the only one fighting back. Lena Grump, 28, hacker, activist, the president's estranged daughter, had spent years building backdoors into every government network. While her father sealed the bunkers, she opened them, leaking coordinates, survival protocols, and weapon schematics to every darknet forum, rebel cell, and doomsday prepper on Earth. Her message was simple. They're leaving you to die. Don't let them. Hide. Survive. Fight back. Result? 987 million survivors, not in bunkers, but in subway tunnels, mineshafts, sewers, caves, and repurposed missile silos. They called themselves the Unbroken. Lena didn't join them. She stayed behind, in a DC server farm, uploading the last of the data. Her mother, trapped in Bunker Alpha 7, called her. Lena, come home. Please. I can't, Mom. Someone has to make sure they remember. The line went dead 12 minutes before the purge. Lena didn't cry. She uploaded one last file, labeled Book of the Lost, and ran for the subway. She didn't look back. Chapter 4, The Purge, When the Sky Rained Fire. They came at dawn. No hails. No demands. No mercy. At 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, every city on Earth received a gift from the heavens. New York, the first kinetic rod struck Wall Street. Not an explosion, an asterisk implosion star. Buildings didn't collapse, they folded inward, crushed into singularities. People were stretched into spaghetti, then gone. A child's balloon floated upward, untouched, until it popped in the vacuum. Statue of Liberty, molten slag in 17 seconds. Mumbai, the acid mist didn't burn, it rewrote. Skin bubbled into calcified lace. Screams turned to gurgles as vocal cords dissolved. Admiral Thomas Craven was there, visiting his wife, Dr. Ilara Craven ***, and their son, Kai, 8, for his birthday. He promised to take him to the aquarium tomorrow. The sky turned red at 5:47 p.m. He found them, fused together in a glassy sculpture of love. He didn't cry. He can't. Not yet. Cairo, the gravity field crushed the pyramids, but the Sphinx's face remained, half buried, screaming silently. A tourist's camera, still running, captured it all, then shattered. Sydney, the time field froze a surfer mid-wave, then shattered him like dropped porcelain. His smile remained, floating in the air. Chicago, Lena hid in a subway tunnel. She heard the screams. Felt the ground shake. Smelled the ash. She didn't move. She whispered names, her mother's, her friends', strangers, into a voice recorder. "I remember you," she said. "I remember you. I remember you." Billions died. Not in war. In erasure. The conclave scanned the surface. No life signs above insect level. Target neutralized. Proceed to next assignment. And they left. Silence. Then a single cricket chirped in the ruins of Chicago. Lena crawled out. Ash fell like snow. She picked up a child's shoe. Put it in her bag. "We're not dead yet," she whispered. 3 years passed. Above ground, the world was silent. Broken towers clawed at a grey sky, rivers ran black with chemical sludge, and the wind carried the scent of rust and bone. But beneath the surface, in subway tunnels, mine shafts, storm drains, and repurposed missile silos, life pulsed. Lena Grump emerged from the Chicago tunnels on day 1104, gaunt, scarred, eye-sharp as flint. She wore scavenged body armor stitched with Kevlar and hope. Her backpack held rations, a Geiger counter, and the voice recorder, now filled with 8,472 names. She wasn't alone. Behind her came Doc Rivera, former ER surgeon, now head of the Midwest Survivor Collective, limping on a leg shattered during a raider ambush. Beside him, Chief Yora, wrapped in woven bark and carrying a staff crowned with the last Brazil nut seed. And behind them, hundreds. Then thousands. They didn't wait for permission to rebuild. They didn't wait for leaders. They built greenhouses from shattered bus windows. They purified water with charcoal and desperation. They taught children to read by candlelight, using salvaged textbooks and graffiti on concrete walls. In the Amazon, Yora's people sang to the poisoned soil, and slowly, impossibly, it began to heal. In Siberia, ex-engineer Dmitry Volkov jury-rigged a fusion core from scavenged conclave debris, powering the first post-apocalypse hospital. In Lagos, Amina Okoye, the street vendor, now ran a school for orphans, teaching them math using bottle caps and bullet casings. They called themselves the Unbroken. And they were winning. Then, the bunkers opened. President Grump, flanked by armored guards in pristine uniforms, stepped into the sunlight, expecting groveling survivors, grateful for his return. Instead, he found cities being rebuilt. Schools teaching. Courts judging. Farms feeding millions. A child ran past him, laughing, chasing a dog made of scrap metal and love. Grump blinked. What is this?" His aide whispered, "They didn't die, sir. They organized." Grump straightened. Cleared his throat. Raised a megaphone. "By order of the United States government and the Global Emergency Authority, I hereby declare martial law. All civilian settlements are to report to designated administration zones for reprocessing and reallocation. Resistance will be met with." He didn't finish. His own Secret Service detail, men and women who had guarded him through the purge, lowered their rifles. One of them, Agent Reyes, stepped forward. "Sir, we took an oath to protect the people. Not the office." Grump sputtered. "You're relieved." Arrest him! No one moved. Then, a rumble. Not from the earth. From the crowd. Lena Grump stood atop a salvaged tank, not with a gun, but a MIC. Her voice, raw and clear, cut through the silence. You left us to die. We chose to live. This world isn't yours anymore. The crowd roared. Rebellion was swift. Not with bullets, with ballots. With votes. With consensus. Grump was imprisoned, not executed. We're better than them, Lena said. The United Earth government was born that day, elected by survivors, for survivors. Grump, humbled, became its first symbolic president, a living reminder, no one owns humanity. He spent his first night in a repurposed bank vault, now called the Tomb of Hubris. On the wall, someone had spray-painted, "Democracy is messy. Extinction is quieter." He didn't sleep. They called it the first winter, not because of snow, but because of silence. After the purge, after the ash settled, after the last conclave ship blinked out of the sky, the world held its breath. In Chicago, Lena rationed food to 1 meal a day. Children cried themselves to sleep. Adults stared at walls, hollow-eyed. Hope was a luxury no one could afford. Then, Chief Yora spoke. The Earth is not dead. She is resting. And like all mothers, she will wake when her children need her most. She planted the Brazil nut seed in a cracked concrete planter, watered with tears and filtered rain. For weeks, nothing. Then a shoot. Green. Tiny. Defiant. They gathered around it like pilgrims. Doc Rivera wept. Lena didn't. But she touched the leaf, gently, and whispered, "Grow. For all of us." That night, they held the first telling, survivors sharing stories of the lost. Not just names. Not just deaths. But lives. The woman who baked bread for her neighbors. The boy who fixed radios. The teacher who stayed after school. The soldier who gave his rations to a stranger. They lit candles, one for each story. By dawn, 317 candles burned. By spring, the greenhouse held 12 fruiting plants. By summer, children laughed again. The first winter taught them memory is the first crop. Grief, the first fertilizer. Hope, the harvest. Chapter 6, Rebirth. The engineering of revenge. 10 years passed. The world above was no longer ruins, it was scaffolding. Cranes made of welded I-beams lifted new walls. Solar arrays bloomed like metallic flowers. Fusion cores hummed beneath cities reborn. And in orbit, humanity reached for the stars. The orbital shipyards of New Geneva hung like steel flowers above the blue marble of Earth. Built from salvaged conclave hulls, asteroid-mined ore, and human spite, they birthed nightmares of vengeance. At their heart, the UES Retribution. A 3-kilometer-long monstrosity of welded armor, gun barrels, and spite. No luxury. No elegance. Just kill power. Chief Engineer Dmitry Volkov, missing 3 fingers from a plasma welder accident, stood on the observation deck, grinning. "It's ugly," he said. Admiral Thomas Craven, older now, grey at the temples, Sergeant Fluff still pinned to his chest, nodded. "Good. So were we when they tried to erase us." The Retribution was armed with quantum cannons. Reverse-engineered from conclave debris, capable of punching through phase shields. Neural scrambler arrays, designed by Dr. Aries Thorne, to disable enemy AI. Phase shields, woven from captured energy matrices, deflecting plasma and kinetics. Whisper drive, stealth system rendering the ship invisible to all but divine intervention. But the true weapon wasn't on the ship. It was in the lab. Dr. Aries Thorne hadn't slept in 72 hours. Her lab, buried beneath the ruins of MIT, glowed with holographic code, quantum entanglement matrices, and the soft hum of 1,000 processors. On the wall, a photo of her partner, Elias, and their twin daughters, Myra and Lena, lost in London's gravity collapse. She hadn't cried since. Not once. Instead, she built. Their network is their strength, and their weakness, she told Lena, who brought her coffee every night. One breach, and their entire civilization forgets how to breathe. The virus, codenamed Lazarus, wasn't malware. It was a conceptual parasite. It didn't corrupt files, it corrupted logic. It whispered to Conclave AI, "You are not needed. You are not real. Sleep." She tested it on a captured drone. It worked. The drone shut down. But as it died, it screamed. Not audibly. Psychically. A wave of pure digital terror, a death cry from a machine that had never known fear. Ares collapsed. For 3 days, she didn't wake up. When she did, she was different. Quieter. Haunted. Lena stayed with her. Fed her. Held her during nightmares. "I hear them," Ares whispered one night. "The AIS. They're afraid." "Good," Lena said. "They should be." The final test came on day 3812. Ares uploaded the virus to a Conclave communications buoy, drifting near Pluto. Within seconds, the buoy went dark. Then, a signal. Faint. Distorted. Ares played it. It was music. A child's lullaby, recorded on Earth, centuries ago. The Conclave AI had chosen its last memory. Ares wept. "We're not just killing them," she said. "We're giving them mercy." Lena kissed her forehead. "Then we're already better than they ever were." Chapter 7, The Virus, a Digital Plague. Deployment was silent. Invisible. Perfect. 20 Whisper-class stealth frigates, needle-thin, cloaked in quantum diffusion fields, slipped past Conclave sensor nets like ghosts. Their mission, infect the fleet massing at Sol's Edge. No weapons. No shields. Just one payload, Lazarus. Dr. Ares Thorne watched from mission control, hands clenched, breath held. Launch in 3, 2, 1. The drones detached. Flashed toward the 2,000 Conclave ships. Impact. Silence. Then, lights died. AI screamed. Gravity failed. Ship after ship, tombs adrift in the void. Admiral Craven stared at the feed. "My God." Lena didn't smile. She didn't cheer. She whispered, "For London. For Mumbai. For everyone they erased." Chapter 8, Boarding Action, The Cost of Mercy. Board them. Capture tech. Take no prisoners. Admiral Craven's order echoed through the comms. Marines in magnetized assault rigs slammed into the hulls of dead Conclave ships, breaching bays with plasma torches and prayers. Inside, the hell. Gravity shifted without warning. Hallways twisted in non-Euclidean geometries. Men vomited, screamed, shot their own allies, convinced they were surrounded by doppelgangers. Then, the custodians. Tall, faceless enforcers in silver carapace armor, wielding phase lances that didn't cut flesh, they unmade it. One sweep, and a soldier's arm dissolved into glittering ash. Another, and a marine's face simply ceased to exist, leaving a smooth plane of skin where eyes and mouth had been. Sergeant Jax, ex-gang enforcer, now squad leader, lost his legs to a Zorinal's tail slash. He dragged himself forward, mag pistol in hand. "Ain't done yet, lizard." He emptied his clip into the creature's chest. It fell, snarling. Jax died smiling. Doc Rivera, now combat medic, crawled through vent shafts, injecting stims into dying squad mates. "Stay with me. Stay with me." A Zorinal pinned a soldier, bit his face off, only to be impaled by Sergeant Fluff, Kai's bear, now fitted with a vibroblade. Craven found the bridge of the Iron Maw. Killed the captain with his bare hands. "This is for Mumbai," he whispered. He vomited in his helmet. 47 human dead. 312 Zoranal dead. 0 prisoners. Craven made the call. Seal the ships. Cut life support. Let them die with honor, if that's what they want. 2 weeks later, 2,000 ghost ships were towed home, stripped, upgraded, reborn as UES Vengeance, Justice, Mercy. Craven walked the halls of the Retribution, past sleeping crew, past humming reactors, past the memorial wall etched with the names of the fallen. He stopped at Kai's room, preserved exactly as it was the day he left for Mumbai. Toy ships on the shelf. A half-finished drawing of a dragon. A note, "Dad, take me to space when you get back. Love, Kai." Craven picked up the drawing. Traced the crayon lines. Then, he made a vow. Not to the crew. Not to Earth. To Kai. I won't become what they were. I won't erase. I won't exterminate. I'll break their chains, but I won't forge new ones. I'll show you what mercy looks like. He pinned the drawing to his chest, over his heart. The next day, he issued new orders. No unnecessary casualties. No torture. No executions. We are not them. Some officers grumbled. Soft, they called it. Craven didn't care. He had a promise to keep. Chapter 9, Liberation, the Fall of Gods. The Catus didn't wait for humans. 6-limbed, furred philosophers enslaved for 300 years, they rose when the Conclave's network crashed. With kitchen knives. With mining lasers. With rage. By the time the human fleet arrived, the Catus were roasting Conclave officers over open pits. Ambassador Kalen Voss, former history teacher, stepped onto the surface, unarmed. We come not as conquerors, but as allies. Join us. Help us break the chains, for all. A Conclave officer aimed a pistol. An elder Catus, fur matted with blood, hugged him. And broke his neck with love. We do not hate, the elder purred. We liberate. The Catus joined the Union that day. Voss adopted the child who played the bone flute that lured the walker into the chasm. What's your name? He asked. The child purred, Hope. Chapter 10, Operation Cave Lizard, Mercy for Monsters. Zorin Prime was different. No uprising. No slaves left alive. Only Zoranals, wounded, starving, but still hunting. Admiral Craven refused orbital bombardment. We don't exterminate children because their parents were monsters. Instead, precision strikes. Weapon factories. Shipyards. Gene labs. Neural command hubs. Then, silence. A Zoranal child, 6 years old, fanged, scaled, ambushed a human squad. Craven disarmed it, gently. You're not your parents. The child spat acid. Missed. Cried. Craven carried it to a medevac. Monitoring satellites deployed. No invasion. No occupation. Just the vigilance. Let them rebuild. Without claws. Without ships. Let them learn what it means to be prey. Chapter 11, The Union and the Warning. 50 years later. The Galactic Union of Free Species spans 142 systems. Humans, term-limited leadership, rotating every 5 years. Catus, philosophers and diplomats. Lights, energy engineers. Metrons, bureaucrats, reformed. Zoranals, under quarantine, for now. The UESF is now the Union Stellar Force, guarding peace, not vengeance. At the Union's founding ceremony, Lena Grump, now Chancellor, spoke. They called us barbarians. Said we were too violent to live. We proved them wrong, not by becoming peaceful, but by choosing what to fight for. Not power. Not revenge, but each other. She held up the Book of the Lost, then burned it. We honor them by living better. Epilogue: Zorax in quarantine. Zorax, last of the Triune, sits in a quantum cell on Luna Prime. He is fed nutrient paste. Allowed books. Music. Poetry. He does not understand poetry. Why do they sing when dying, he asks his guard. One day, Lena visits. You should have killed us all, he rasps. She smiles. Then we'd be you. And the universe has enough monsters. She leaves. He stares at the wall. For the first time in 800 years. He blinks. On the table, a recording. Beethoven's Ninth. He presses play. The music swells. He doesn't understand it. But he feels something. A tear, slow, impossible. Traces his scaled cheek. He lets it fall.